can never please. If she's in a house with 16 bathrooms, the next one she's thinking about has got to have 23 bathrooms. He looks so unhappy, so drained, and as if the world is coming to an end. And yet the actual monarchy is of no importance to them. So it's very hypocritical.
Oh my gosh, you won't believe what just went down in the royal world. This isn't about Netflix deals, their fancy wardrobes, or Meghan's next Hollywood power play. No, no, no. This time it's something so much more shocking, something that could literally shake the very pillars of the monarchy. When Angela Levin, the seasoned royal biographer everyone knows for not mincing her words, went live on national television, she didn't just spill tea, she detonated a bomb. What she unleashed sent shockwaves from Buckingham Palace straight to the gilded gates of Montecito.
Here we are again. Harry and Meghan making headlines, but not for the reasons they'd hoped. If the fairy tale was ever...
She gazed right into the camera with that calm, grandmotherly smile of hers, and then, bam, dropped the claim that so many had quietly suspected but never dared to say out loud. And what she revealed? Oh, it could completely shatter everything Harry and Meghan have been so carefully building around their children. Forever.
Here's the situation. Prince Harry is fuming. Not just irritated, not just frustrated, full-on furious.
And honestly, the revelations coming up will make you question everything you thought you knew about the whole Sussex saga.
The latest on the Sussex psychodrama with esteemed royal biographer. She's written the books on Prince Harry and...
You won't even believe what came next. Angela Levin didn't flinch. She didn't sugarcoat. She didn't use the polite fluff that most of the press hide behind when they talk about the Sussexes. Nope. She went straight for the jugular. With that razor-sharp analysis that made her reputation, she leaned in and asked the question nobody else dared whisper, even behind closed doors.
What has been going on? So start me at the beginning. Where should we go to first? Who should we start?
Well, we can talk about the...
Why have Harry and Meghan never once followed a single traditional royal birth protocol? Like, can we just take a second here? This is devastating, because for centuries, every single royal birth has followed the same strict rules. We're talking those iconic hospital steps photos, something every royal mum before Meghan did without batting an eyelid, signed medical bulletins from the doctors, transparent timelines so the public can follow along, even official witnesses present during deliveries. There's always been clear documentation proving each royal birth happened exactly as claimed. And this isn't just about cute traditions, it's constitutional. The monarchy survives on one thing: legitimacy, absolute, unquestionable certainty of the bloodline. But instead of the centuries-old transparency with Meghan and Harry, it was like they used a completely different playbook. We got grainy, heavily controlled photos where baby bumps popped up and vanished like stage props. Birth locations that changed depending on who you asked.
Harry to put honouring veterans above everything else this week. But although Harry and Meghan paid tribute to Navy SEALs in San Diego...
I think she's brought out the worst in him, and I think it's appalling that his behaviour has been so bad.
Timelines that shifted like quicksand anytime someone tried to pin down actual facts. And the silence. Oh, the silence was deafening. Angela delivered her words like a scalpel, centuries of royal tradition, and suddenly, poof, that transparency just disappeared. The question was so powerful she didn't need to raise her voice. Why? The studio went dead quiet. You could practically hear everyone in Britain holding their breath as her words sank in. But outside the studio, social media exploded. Hashtags shot up the trending lists, clips spread like wildfire, and suddenly millions of people were asking the same questions they'd secretly been wondering for years. And they weren't just passively watching either. Oh no, they were digging. Zooming in on photos, circling inconsistencies, lining up side-by-side comparisons of statements and timelines that didn't match. Angela basically gave the world permission to stop pretending and start questioning what they'd blindly accepted. The whole conversation shifted in real time, from should we even ask these questions to why have these questions never been answered? And honestly, let's talk about what should have happened. Because once you see the official protocol, the absence becomes painfully obvious. This isn't optional or some quaint tradition you can modernize away. It's constitutional. There are actual legal requirements here, meant to protect the monarchy's legitimacy. Here's how it's always done. The moment labor starts, palace officials send out official communications with precise timing and location. Doctors sign bulletins confirming the birth, the baby's health, exact timestamps, everything down to the minute. Senior officials and medical staff create an airtight verification chain. Then comes the most crucial part, the public presentation. Every royal mother before Meghan stepped out of that hospital within hours, not for publicity, but as proof. Proof of life, proof of legitimacy, proof this child is actually of royal blood. It might look ceremonial, but it's been constitutional for centuries. And what did we get instead? Silence. Total silence. Where those formal announcements should have been. Instead of clear medical documentation, we got vague, fuzzy statements. Instead of transparent processes, secret locations. Instead of those constitutionally crucial hospital step appearances, we got glossy magazine-style photo shoots, more celebrity than royal. And if you really look at those photos, the story gets even stranger. Baby bumps that seemed to change size from one public appearance to the next, clothes chosen to hide instead of show, camera angles and lighting that seemed designed to obscure details instead of revealing them, professional photographers controlling every frame instead of the usual press pool. Even the timelines don't match, birth announcements coming hours after the supposed deliveries, locations changing between initial reports and later statements, hospital staff unusually quiet when they should have been proudly listed on the official record. And here's the most mind-blowing part. This came from the couple who spent years blasting the royal family for lack of transparency. They demanded openness, accountability, honesty. Yet when it was their turn, they made everything private, controlled, and mysterious. The contradiction is wild. So of course the big question was, how did Prince Harry react when Angela dropped that bombshell live on TV? Did he stay calm and composed like the dignified royal he used to be? Absolutely not. Harry lost it completely. Within hours, literally hours, of Angela's broadcast, insiders said he was in full-blown panic mode. This wasn't just anger. This was someone who seemed to forget every single damage control lesson he ever learned. And instead of doing what any innocent person would, Harry did what Harry does these days when he's cornered. He called his lawyers. Before Angela had probably even made it home from the studio, Harry's team was already drafting cease and desist letters, multiple defamation threats, harassment claims, warnings of immediate formal consequences. The whole arsenal aimed at one elderly commentator who just asked a question. And here's the thing. When you're innocent, you don't respond with threats. You show proof. You clear your name with facts. Harry could have ended the whole thing instantly. Hospital records, medical certificates, witness statements, any of it would have shut down the speculation. But instead of proof, we got threats. Instead of transparency, we got conflict. And the message that sent? Crystal clear. Harry wanted to silence questions, not answer them. Meanwhile, where was Meghan, the woman who's always styled herself as Harry's fierce protector, completely missing in action? While Harry spiraled publicly, firing off legal threats and making himself look more guilty with each one, Meghan stayed silent. And honestly, that silence was loud. She let him take every hit, absorb every criticism, dig himself deeper while she calculated her next move from a safe distance. That power couple brand they built suddenly looked like a sinking ship, and only Harry was going down with it. And here's the wildest part. Harry's aggressive response backfired spectacularly. Every single formal threat Harry sent out only made people more convinced he was hiding something huge. And honestly, now we have to talk about why his reaction was so over the top. Because once you understand what's really at stake here, his total panic makes sense. This isn't just about bad headlines or awkward questions anymore. This is about the one thing that could completely destroy everything Harry and Meghan have worked years to build. See, the monarchy operates on a simple, brutal principle that most people don't fully grasp. It's not about popularity or charm. The crown survives on one thing alone: bloodline legitimacy. That's the bedrock. That's what's kept it standing for 1,000 years. Through wars, revolutions, scandals, you name it. The line of succession has always been airtight, bulletproof, unquestionable. And what Angela did, she poked a hole in that. She didn't just question a few missing baby photos. She cracked open the possibility that the entire constitutional chain could be questioned. Leaks started buzzing. Constitutional experts quietly admitted they were wondering if Archie and Lilibet could even legally stay in the line of succession if their births couldn't be verified under royal rules. Do you get how massive that is? We've officially moved past tabloid drama and into actual constitutional territory. We're talking about experts openly discussing whether these kids even have legitimate royal titles. Constitutional experts started popping up on news shows, bluntly pointing out the trap. If these secret proceedings really existed and Harry denied them, he could end up forcing the documents into public view through disclosure rules. Entertainment shows started casually folding his chaotic response into their coverage, often with side-eyed commentary about whether his strategy was imploding. Social media debates moved from, is Angela right or wrong, to, why is Harry melting down like this? Meanwhile, Meghan seemed laser-focused on the optics. Insiders said she was working overtime with their comms team, worried Harry's erratic behavior was making their entire brand look unstable to powerful industry partners. And honestly, they weren't wrong to worry. They weren't wrong. Because for years, they've carefully painted themselves as the victims of powerful institutions, unfairly treated, silenced, wronged. But now Harry was looking like the one trying to silence others and hide things. And that's when Harry made the worst decision of all. Instead of stepping back, he doubled down. Despite everyone around him screaming for caution, Harry ordered his advisors to prepare a massive legal war, not just against Angela, but against every major media outlet that repeated her claims. This wasn't damage control anymore. This was total war. His advisors begged him to reconsider. They warned him, the moment this becomes official, every document you've tried to keep private becomes fair game. But Harry wasn't listening. Formal warning letters went flying to newsrooms across Britain and America, threatening serious consequences for anyone who even discussed Angela's allegations. The backlash was instant and brutal. Instead of retreating, journalists began mocking his approach. Experts filled TV panels explaining why threatening legal action was the worst way to stop questions. Then came the real nightmare: Parliament. Members of Parliament started making carefully worded inquiries about reviewing royal titles if questions emerged about how they were originally granted. Everyone knew what that meant. They were quietly floating the idea of re-examining Archie and Lilibet's royal status if their birth documentation didn't hold up. In one swoop, Harry had escalated a messy media scandal into a potential government issue, and then came the final, crushing blow. Buckingham Palace quietly let it be known they would not support Harry's legal campaign. They weren't going to lift a single royal finger to defend him. For someone who's always attacked the royal family, yet still expected their protection, that must have cut deep. And by trying to end the story with legal threats, Harry had done the opposite. He'd made it bigger, louder, and far more serious than anyone thought possible. And just when everyone thought this drama had reached its peak, Angela Levin delivered her final chilling line. She looked straight into the camera, totally composed, and said the words that sent ripples through Montecito. And this is just the beginning. Mick and drop. Think about how far this has spiraled. Harry started as the protective dad defending his family, and Angela, bit by bit, turned him into the textbook example of how trying to control a narrative can destroy it. While Harry battled firestorms of his own making, Angela's profile soared. She became the commentator every network wanted. She built her new reputation on questions Harry couldn't answer. Meanwhile, Harry, isolated. The royal institution abandoned him. Former defenders went silent. Even Meghan seemed more like a distant business partner than a supportive wife. Someone who once had the world's sympathy had become someone people either pitied or openly doubted. And here's the haunting part. Insiders say Angela is still holding more information, waiting, timing each reveal. If she really does have the documents Harry's been trying to bury, this could just be the opening act. If she drops proof backing her claims, it could blow up Harry's children's royal status and their link to the throne completely. That's not just personal drama, that's constitutional. So, where does this even go from here? Will Angela unleash more? Can Harry and Meghan survive this credibility crisis? Because one thing's certain, this royal firestorm is far from over.